What an honor. What a blessing. I have to ask a question. How many of you can say, I really believe with all my heart that God has done some work in my life? Yes. Maybe I spoke too softly. Because some of you were yawning at the time. I'm curious. How many of you can really say, I believe God changed me? It is an honor to just be able to share any gifts, anything I can give, any participation I can do, and I'm blessed to be up here to share just some reflections on what I believe God was saying. He was saying so many things, and I just want to share with you a couple of things. And by the way, Pastor Frank, man, that's nice and dagger to the heart. I appreciate it. I don't want it any other way. If you share with me something that's going to tickle my ear, you know what? Keep it. Share it to somebody at work, you know. I need to hear the truth. Amen. I know some reflection, but I wrote a few things down just because, like many of us, we didn't sleep that much up here. So and it's a good thing because worship and fellowship and edifying each other, it's worth it, man. A couple sleepless nights. But I want to make sure that I say to you what God said to me. Let me tell you where I got my reflection from. I was going to bed last night. Everything got quiet. My mind was beginning to relax, and I heard God just whisper to me what I need to say this morning. And so I slept good. Knowing I heard God say to me what He wanted me to say. So now I don't care if you don't like it. because I know it's what God wants to say. No offense. It's just a reality. When God says what He wants to say, then it doesn't really matter whether we like it or not. So I put a little title on it. Just when you thought you've surrendered. Sounds a little backwards, but unconditional surrender is not a one-time thing, guys. It's not a one-time thing. It doesn't happen once and that's it. And the one who knew it best was Jesus. How many know He knows us better than anyone could ever know us? And He told us in the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 23. Listen to what Jesus said. He said, then He said to all, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Amen. See, you may not connect that to unconditional surrender, but the Lord knows our sin nature way better than we know ourselves. And like Pastor Frank said, we're going to go down the mountain, and as soon as you get there, you're going to get a test. And I'm really curious. I'd like to be there to watch it. That would be great. And I'll sit there and watch and see how you respond. Will there be like this glow around you? I'm surrendered unconditionally, or is it going to look like, like it did before you came up here? Unconditional surrender is not a one-time thing. Jesus knew it best. And so He said, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. And I get a couple of things out of that. The first thing I get is this. Desire is not enough. A lot of guys have a desire, man. I desire to be surrendered. I desire to be unconditionally surrendered. But Jesus said, if anyone desires to come after me, it's not enough. Desire is not enough, guys. Amen. He said, if you desire, you're not done. If you desire, then you've got to take up your cross daily. You see, here's the reality. We all pledge to be surrendered. We pledge this. We're going down the mountain saying, God, I'm yours. I surrender all. Yes. All to you, Lord. I surrender. But I tell you, tomorrow and the next day, there's going to be tests. Things that you didn't know bothered you. Things that you didn't know that you didn't leave it at the altar yet. And there comes the test. And here is where you're going to find out that you've got to surrender again. Amen. Right? Amen. Again and again. And this is why Jesus said, if you desire, that's great, but it's not enough. You can walk around with that desire all you want, but if you don't do anything with it, it's just desire.
Come on.
God doesn't want us coming up to this mountaintop just to have a great experience. He wants us to have that great experience and take it with us. A changed man with the understanding that when I face life today, tomorrow, and whatever day God gives to me, that I'm ready to take on whatever comes my way with the response that I'm going to surrender. Especially when I get hit with something that I hate. I don't want to deal with this, but I have to because I'm not my own. So I get two things out of this passage. One is that we got to take up our cross daily. And that's an everyday thing. The other thing about this is where it tells us to deny ourselves. You know, denial, you know there's a big difference between denying yourself and self-denial. It's a big difference. You see, self-denial is what I tried to do up here this week. I tried not to eat too much beef and gravy and ice cream and Coca-Cola and chips and pizza. And I'm ruining it for myself right now because this is going to go on the YouTube channel, guys. And Sister Brenda's going to watch this. And she's going to go, man, you just ratted yourself out. Anyway, let's move on from that. Self-denial is when you and I got to stop eating all that ice cream. I got to stop eating so much salt and sugar and fat and all that. That's called, self-denial. But biblical denying of yourself sounds more like this. It's not denying yourself, it's disowning yourself. It's different. Now, how does this play in unconditional surrender? I'll tell you how it plays. Because if you think you're going to surrender and still be your own owner, you lie to yourself. If you still own yourself, your time, your talent, your treasure, your testimony, if it still belongs to you and you're in control of it, you are not surrendered. You are in competition with God over something that He paid for. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19 and 20 tells us, we are not our own. We've been bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and your spirit, which belongs to Him. And that happens on a daily basis, folks. Daily. So denying yourself is more like disowning yourself. I heard a quote about a week and a half ago from a woman, actually. But I think she's one of the heroes of faith in our day. She's a quadriplegic woman. She doesn't have the use of her arms and her legs. Been serving God that way for 50 years. A lady named Johnny Erickson taught her. And I heard her speaking. And she said this. God allows what He hates to accomplish what He loves. And I started thinking, man, here we go. As soon as I start thinking about this stuff, I get choked up. So I'm not going to do that. I started thinking about surrendering daily. And how God knows what we need to face even when we don't. So He'll allow things to happen. He'll allow a Jacob in the Bible to get his hip taken out and walk with a limp the rest of his life. He'll allow Paul to drag around a thorn in his flesh to keep him where he needs to be. And so I believe He will allow you and I to face things in our life, things we're not even ready for sometimes. They'll come our way, and it'll be a test to surrender. It'll be a test to find out where you're at. Not so God can find out, so that you could find out. Yes. And so sometimes God will allow the cross, the death of His Son, which He hated, to accomplish what He loves, the salvation of His children. Amen. God will allow you to go through some stuff. So I'm going to close this with a thought. I would be willing to bet that there's not one of you here today that your favorite character in the Bible that you live after is Job. Right? How many of you would say, oh, I want a life like Job? It's Paul. Yeah. Might even be Peter, David. My favorite guys are Joseph and Daniel. Joseph and Daniel, they're my two favorites. But I haven't met one guy yet, Pastor, who says, you know what, I want to be like Job. Of course you don't. But let's think about Job, these last few minutes, as it pertains to denying ourselves, disowning ourselves, passing a test when it's time to see whether you're surrendered or not. When God, knowing that you need more, even though you don't know, will allow you to go through things you don't like. And even God hates it, because God don't like to see you cry. Not that way. He don't like to see you broken, but what he does love is what comes after the brokenness. The surrender happens. That's what he loves. Job, we all know what he went through. Job chapter 1, verse 22, I think it is. The Bible says that in all these things that Job went through, he never blamed God. He never blamed him. I find that when we get tested, when we go through things that are really hard and we don't, like, there's everything inside of us doesn't want to surrender. We're done. We're tired. We just want to quit. This is too much. Sometimes we'll get those thoughts. Why, God? I've heard many men say, God, why are you doing this to me? Why are you allowing this? It's hard. So, the Bible says Job never charged God with wrong. He never blamed God. The reason I share this is because I want to give you something to use on your way down the mountain. Because you're going to get tested. You're going to find out whether you are unconditionally surrendered. On a daily basis, it's going to come. And when it happens, and when things beyond your control come at you, you're going to have to be able to say, I don't care about anything else right now. I just care about this, that my life is right with God. I don't always understand what God is doing, but when I don't understand His way, I trust His heart. I know God has my best in His interest. I know He wants me to fulfill everything that He has for me. And so I must pass this test.
Amen.
Best way to pass every test, don't blame God, even when you don't understand it. Even when it looks like God set it on your plate for you to eat it. Don't blame Him. Honor Him. Amen. Know that He knows best. And I'll close with this, my favorite verse. And by the way, Job is not my biblical hero. Matter of fact, I wish he wasn't in the Bible. Because sometimes I get mistaken for this guy. That's not I'll close with this. Favorite verse. It's a hard verse. Same guy who said, the Bible says he never blamed God. He said in Job chapter 13, verse 15, excuse me. He said, though God slay me, yet will I serve Him.
Amen.
I'll put it in another translation. Though He kill me, yet will I trust Him.
Amen.
And I'm going to put it in Tony Diaz translation. Though God decide that what is best for the kingdom is that He takes my life and destroys it for the glory of God. Even if I don't understand it, yet I trust Him. Even when I don't understand it, yet I trust Him. Do you want to be unconditionally surrendered? If you really want this, then it's got to happen daily, and you have to understand this right now. Not a week from now, not when you go back and watch it on YouTube, not 2 years from now when you're done with all your strength. You got to accept this now. This is daily.
Yes,
and so today, right now, I surrender.
Yes, amen.
And if God gives me tomorrow, I surrender.
Yes, come on.
And when I eat the dirt because I get in the flesh, because of a response to a problem, I repent and then I surrender.
Come on.
Every day.
Every day.
You live like that. And you will find that God can be trusted.
Yes, amen.
And He really does have your best in His plans. Amen. Let's give the Lord praise. I'm sorry. I didn't say let's do a little round of applause for a nice message.
Come on, Pastor.
I said let's give God some praise. Mic over. Before I do, we did find out this morning that we are able, Pastor Ray, we recorded it to the best we could. So we are going to be able to have this on our YouTube channel on Ball Parks and Montebello. So if you want to go back and watch the messages again, go for it. And do it and just take it all in. God bless you guys. Amen.